Hello and welcome to the online demonstration for Bold, Quintype's headless CMS and digital publishing platform. Over the next 30 minutes or so, we will give you an introduction to the company and an overview into the Bold CMS that includes a live demonstration of the platform. Next, we will discuss some high-level integrations that are common in the industry, additional features around infrastructure, and wrap up the session with information around pricing models and next steps. As a quick background, Quintype builds products that are aligned with four verticals that cut across the digital publishing spectrum. First is content, where we focus on things like the editorial workflow, the speed of publishing, and ease of publishing. Our headless CMS Bold is a great example of this, and we will review that in today's presentation. The second vertical is around building a strong distribution network and front-end applications for this content. This is done using the Ahead framework, which is our standard off-the-shelf front-end application best suited for new and upcoming content publishers. We combine best practices followed by publishers in the industry and loaded with out-of-box integrations that help small to mid-sized companies transition quickly and punch above their weight without any in-house technical support. Next is monetization of this content that is supported through integrations with your ad manager, DFP server, AdSense, or driven through our subscription management product called AccessType. This allows publishers to monetize premium content using metered paywalls, subscription plans, and recurring donation campaigns. Last but not the least is the engagement piece that is propelled through our audience engagement product called MeType. This is used to enhance user interaction, enable user-generated content. In numbers, we're a 100-people company headquartered in Bangalore, serving over 50 publishers spanning 4 continents that collectively make up for over 500 million page views or impressions a month. Our spectrum of customers ranges from small to mid-size and large enterprise publishers using solutions tailored for their needs. But most commonly, the reasons for them transitioning over to Bold is what we will see on the next slide. Unlike traditional open source platforms, Bold has an API-driven framework that allows publishers complete control and flexibility on the channel and medium of content distribution. The mobile-friendly editor, pre-built story templates, and out-of-box integrations combined into a hosted SaaS solution, a fully hosted SaaS solution with 24/7 support and infrastructure all included, so you should have absolutely no additional cost for running your digital properties. It reduces the total cost of ownership for publishers and allows them to focus on their core, which is building content. A very natural question to that is, what is a headless CMS and how does it really stack up to my current system? So in headless, Quintype becomes a central repository for all of your content that can be exposed via APIs onto any front-end application, such as a mobile app, website, social media, push notifications, or emails. Also, you can render this content onto any screen size all the way from a television, laptop, tablet, mobile phone, smartwatch, or even a screenless interface like an Alexa or Google Home. I'd like you to visualize a system integrator that can connect with any service provider or channel as long as they have APIs available. Not just that, if you have an in-house web development team, they could use these APIs as well as our development framework to build new pages, microsites, or apps, and focus around the innovation and storytelling aspects of your content while we do all the heavy lifting as your technology partner. Enough said, I think it's better we take a live peek into what the experience is like through a live demonstration of the platform. We'll start by reviewing some examples of the work in terms of finished products that we've done for our customers. The first amongst them is Bloomberg Quint, which is a financial news site running from a joint venture between Bloomberg and Quintillion Media. What's really unique about this example is the implementation of content syndication. We pull content from different sources around markets and stocks and represent that data structured in a live format with interconnected groups what we call entities over here to drill down into that information. As you could see from the example here, we could look into a company profile, understand how their stocks are performing on a local or national stock exchange, and additional information around the organization's performance. We also implemented a hard-metered paywall for premium content under BQ Blue Exclusive. This supports metered paywalls, subscription groups, and subscription plans that you could review using the subscribe option right here. Other examples of the work we've done include the Quint, which is a general news website targeting millennials. If you look at the My Report section that promotes stories around the COVID-19 lockdown, allows users to simply submit their content at the click of a button that could be directly reviewed within your CMS, approved and published from your editorial team. Last but not the least is Fortune India, which is a classic example of what we call structured content. As we all know, Fortune is best known for its annual power lists such as the Fortune 500, the 40 under 40, the most powerful women, etc. We use Quintype entities to group these objects of data that can be interconnected and represented in different ways. You might notice profiles for organizations where you could filter down by different slice and dice this information through different angles to see what data you might want to capture. Although these examples are extremely apart in terms of their design, functionality, and purpose, yet they are all powered by Bold that can be tailored to cater to the needs of their business. And now let's go ahead and jump into the editorial side of the business. Being a SaaS product, you could be wired in from anywhere through an internet connection and login credentials to your Bold editor. We can enable social logins in addition to the classic form or email login structure to make the experience seamless, or even add an extra layer of security through two-factor authentication on your mobile devices. To quickly orient you through the application, the middle of the page is where you will notice all the stories being worked on by our content team. The tabs on the top of this page represent the editorial workflow. This is a customizable workflow that can be configured according to how your news desk or content desk operates. If you need to add or remove a few stages to your workflow, this can be done for you. You can also manage the visibility and access rights for users and authors on the editor. We can create and edit roles for different types of users, giving them access to areas only they need to see. For instance, your content writers must only have visibility to create their own content and just to submit that content. However, your editors need full-blown access across the system and rights to approve, publish, and retract any piece of content. You could easily control these settings directly and enable the right visibility and access to each user within the system. We also understand that people wear many hats at smaller companies, so you can assign multiple roles to a user and vice versa. All of these settings can be managed directly by publishers, and there is no limit to the number of users, roles, or stories you can create on Bold. Let's switch gears and move to the story creation process and workflow. Now you can always start with the Add New button on the top left corner to begin a story from scratch. However, for the purpose of this demonstration and the interest of time, I will pick one of the stories currently in the open state on our workspace. As I had previously mentioned, Bold is a fully mobile responsive CMS, so your content team could very well be working on stories from their mobile device while covering live events on the move. We visualize a story as a stack of cards on the Bold platform. Each card is made up of story elements like the title, image, video, etc., that are building blocks of your story. Remember the analogy of playing with Lego blocks when we were kids. As you will notice, the first card of the story has three elements, such as the title, subtitle, and lead image. And the following card has a tweet, a YouTube video, and perhaps some sample text that we could add right away. We can add as many cards to a story using the Add Card button and as many elements to each card using the plus icon when you hover over each card. There is no limit to the number of cards you could add to your story or the number of elements you could add to each card. There's multiple benefits for using a cardified layout and elements for stories. For starters, this will really help structure your content and improve the discoverability on search engines. Also, from a tech perspective, we could use APIs to instruct front-end applications on how to represent each element on your site. For example, your summary element could be represented in italic font, whereas your quote element could be represented in a bold blue font. From a monetization perspective, the cards are helpful while running metered paywalls on premium content. You'd want to expose a brief description or summary on the first card and have the rest of the story behind a hard or a soft paywall, enticing users to subscribe. For those monetizing through ad revenues, a typical challenge is how the placement of programmatic ads appear between the story content, which really dampens the user experience. With the help of cards, we could program these ads to appear between any two cards or after each card, so it appears like a natural break within the story without hampering the UX. Other benefits include replacing the ads with a read more or a load more button so you could fit more stories on every page scroll or even enhance the ad inventory on your site. From an editorial perspective, it really helps content creators to reorder the elements on each card or reorder the cards on every story. For example, if I need to take the YouTube video above the tweet or include a blank card after my first card, I could simply reorder these cards and elements. So many times we are dealing with redundancies in the editorial process while recreating a lot of content that's produced earlier. The cardified layout allows content writers to search for cards across previously published stories and import a copy of it in your story, which could be easily updated or modified. There's a whole bunch of additional features that come in very handy for content writers. To start with is a live preview of how your content is shaping up as you write it on the editor. So many times we heard for challenges around the need to upload multiple images for different screen sizes. Um, Bold has an inbuilt image processor that would automatically resize or crop the image based on a focal area that or a focus point that you suggest. So if you could see a little crosshair that I'm moving across the screen, um, we could place that anywhere around the image, and during the live preview, you might notice the image moving around the focal point to make sure we keep the essence of your story intact. Other features include story templates that allow you to structure or format for different story types or even change them on the fly while you are building your content. We understand all content is not the same, and the story templates are a great way to start organizing that content by types or formats such as a video story, a photo story, an interview, a live blog that could go out with date and time stamps, so on and so forth. We also have timelines for every story. Using this three dot menu on the top right hand corner, we can review the modification timelines for each story by every author and even restore a previous version. There we go. The SEO scores that you notice below timelines here are very similar to the Yoast plugin that you're familiar with if you're coming from open source platforms like WordPress, where you could see the red, orange, and green areas for SEO improvements around your content. Essentially, once your story pieces come together, the next step is to really start organizing this content. We will use this manage button on top to determine where, when, and how the story will be published. We start by defining the section or category where the story must appear, followed by subsections or subcategories. There are advanced settings available to add multiple authors, tags, subscription levels, and SEO related metadata. An integration example here is through an AI-based algorithm that automatically reads your content and suggests the most appropriate tags. Since it's driven by machine learning, the algorithm will learn from your selection pattern and suggestions become even better with the frequent use. You can personalize content based on user preferences using what we call story attributes. Some examples are around collecting the interest of your users, being able to trigger food recipes based on the salt level or dietary requirements, or even trigger stories based on particular authors or locations. We are now blending into the second strength around the omni-channel distribution network around Bold. The social tab is used for publishing your content on all social media channels from the CMS itself. You can decide on the push notification service provider. You want to configure your account to send out your push notifications on the web or mobile or both channels if you prefer. Same thing with social media handles such as Facebook and Twitter. You have the ability to customize a personal message for each channel. And once you have configured your social channels under settings, you can choose to publish immediately or schedule the publishing for a future date and time. As they say, you set it and forget it. The system can auto-publish based on your settings on the editor. Your Bold editor also helps manage all your images under the media library, where all uploaded images are stored with a caption and an attribution. Content writers can search for images with these captions or even integrate with third-party sources like a Getty or Shutterstock for external images. Collections. We can bundle up stories into a story collection, which is how we organize or group stories around your site. The concept of collections is used to export or even syndicate your content across external channels. A perfect use case over here is building your daily, weekly, monthly newsletter for your subscribers. You can start by building an automated collection of stories based on certain rules or a manual collection of stories that are cherry picked like the editor's choice. Feel free to use certain attributes as filters for your collection or group stories by authors, location, or using our own inbuilt analytics to trigger latest published or trending stories spanning the last 4 to 24 hours. The resulting stories from your filter list will appear under the content list on the left side of your screen. From here, feel free to override the automatic collection with a manual choice by marking stars or even reorder the stories by a simple drag and drop to decide how they need to appear on the newsletter. You can also set a threshold for the number of views a story must hit before moving to the bottom of your stack. Once the collection is ready, all you need to do is copy the RSS feed into your email service engine, which could be a MailChimp or a Constant Contact, and the content will be injected into the newsletter format set up on your email service engine. An extension of the same concept is called a collection of collections, which is essentially how we organize the content on your home and section pages. As I'm going to quickly pull up a dummy front-end application for this account. As you could see, the dummy front-end application on this home page is a combination of multiple collections, sections, or categories like politics, trending now, sports, most popular, so on and so forth. This is the same order that we see under our collections, which is politics, trending now, sports, most popular, so on and so forth. And similarly, you can either drag or drop to change the order, or even go ahead and manage the collection to change the layout of how it needs to appear on the home page. Once we go ahead and hit publish, all these changes will reflect immediately on your front-end application. We'll just go ahead and click refresh. And now we have our trending now collection that has been moved up the order and turned into a two-column layout. This gives a lot of control and flexibility to the editorial team to make changes as needed without the dependency on any web development team or product experts. Not to forget, this also frees up the time for your web developers to focus on more strategic aspects and manage priorities. We have recently launched our latest product offering called the Page Builder that will further enhance the experience of controlling the look and feel of your home, section, and story pages, along with ad placements and custom widgets. The Page Builder supports a library of high-performance design components used in latest trends across the publishing industry. They can be configured according to your branding guidelines, and we keep adding to this library so publishers can experiment with different looks at the click of a button. We have been in this business for a while and rolled out our head framework, which comes fully loaded with out-of-box integrations and supports new story formats like a visual story. These are really popular amongst millennials. It's a great way to engage with impact stories, and one of these styles can also be replaced with sponsored content to add more value for your advertisers. Continuing with integrations, the Bold platform allows out-of-box support for all formats such as Facebook Instant Articles, AMP pages, as well as syndication to content aggregators like a Daily Hunt, Google News, or Apple News, among several others that can be explored using the link below. Well, this mostly covers our demonstration today, and I wanted to summarize everything in one slide that encapsulates the Quintype platform. Our bold editor is the foundation with functionality around the CMS and editorial workflow, analytics and syndication, coupled with a strong distribution mechanism supporting social media integrations and SEO. A front-end framework with the Ahead and Page Builder applications, a subscriptions management module, Access Type to help with monetization and paywalls, and our audience engagement product, MeType, for user-generated content and interaction. We have different pricing models tailored for publishers based on their size and scale of operations. Typically, the cost model has a one-time setup fee based on the design, development, and migration of content, and a monthly subscription fee based on the traffic volume or bandwidth consumption. Our monthly subscription fee includes all infrastructure costs for hosting on the AWS cloud, a global CDN, as well as premium levels of security and maintenance in the form of regular product upgrades. Our off-the-shelf Ahead framework that is best suited for new and upcoming publishers starts with as low as a $200 monthly fee in subscription, but I'd suggest you connect with your representative for a tailor-made package including promotional discounts. Thanks for your time, and I hope you found the demonstration informative. We are eager to get your feedback and welcome any suggestions along the way. If you are listening to this demonstration live or through a recorded webinar, please type your questions in the chat window and we will get in touch with you immediately. As for next steps, you can experience Bold firsthand by signing up for a 14-day free trial, no strings attached, or send us an email and schedule an advisory call with our team to brainstorm on solutions for your current challenges. Thank you very much.